What if the reason your intimacy is changed isn't age? What if it's not failure, not weakness, but something deeper, quieter, and fixable? I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, and after over 30 years of working with men in their 50s, 60s, even 80s, I can tell you, the most common cause of declining intimacy isn't age, it's circulation. More specifically, it's something called endothelial dysfunction, a condition where the lining of your blood vessels stops working the way it should. Now, most doctors don't talk about this. Instead, they blame age or hand you a prescription and send you on your way. But I want you to know, this decline isn't inevitable. It's biological, and more importantly, reversible. And no, you don't need pills, surgery, or hormone therapy to reclaim your strength. What you need is real nourishment, the kind of food your body still remembers how to use. In this short conversation, I'll walk you through 6 powerful truths every man over 60 should know, including one forgotten superfood that can help restore blood flow, rebuild natural testosterone, and quietly reignite the fire you thought had gone out. Because once you understand what's really happening inside your vessels and what your body still knows how to do, the path back becomes clear.
1. The real reason circulation fades after 60. Most men who come into my office say the same thing. Doc, it's just age, right? They've noticed the signs: slower arousal, weaker performance, a fading desire to be close, and quietly assumed it's part of getting older. But the truth is, it's not just age, it's your circulation. And more precisely, it's the endothelium, the thin lining of your blood vessels that's no longer doing its job. In a healthy body, the endothelium produces nitric oxide, the molecule that tells blood vessels to open up and relax. This allows blood to flow freely, especially to the areas tied to intimacy, strength, and confidence. But after 60, with stress, poor diet, inflammation, and lack of movement, this system begins to break down. The vessels stiffen, nitric oxide production drops, and blood flow slows, not just in the heart, but in the places that matter most to how you feel as a man. And when blood doesn't move well, neither does energy or connection. I've had patients say, "I still love my wife, but my body's not responding the way it used to." Not out of shame, but quiet grief. Because this decline doesn't just affect the body, it touches the soul, your sense of self, your presence in the moment. The good news? Endothelial dysfunction is not permanent. When we restore nitric oxide and support the blood vessels with the right foods, movement, and timing, the change can be dramatic. I've seen it in blood pressure, in stamina, in emotional connection, and yes, in intimacy too. So no, you are not broken. Your system is simply waiting for the right signal. And that signal can begin with food, not a prescription bottle.
2. Why pills fail and nature succeeds. One of the most common questions I hear, usually asked in a low voice, is, should I just take the little blue pill? And I get it. When something stops working, we want a fix. Something fast, quiet, no questions asked. And yes, pills can help for a while. But here's what most men don't hear. They're not a cure. They're a temporary push. And the more you depend on them, the less your body tries to work on its own. See, if your blood vessels are stiff or underperforming, forcing blood flow with a pill doesn't heal the problem. It just covers it up. And over time, I've seen men return, frustrated, even afraid, because what once worked doesn't anymore. Not because they waited too long, but because no one told them they had another option. I've also seen something else, something far more hopeful. Men who chose a different path. who started feeding their bodies the nutrients that support circulation, hormones, and energy, not from a lab, but from the ground. They didn't just feel better, they looked it. Clearer eyes, firmer step, lighter spirit, and most importantly, it was real. It was themselves again. And that's what I want for you. Not artificial help, but true restoration. Because the male body, even at 60 or 70, still knows how to repair if you give it the right tools. And some of the best tools we have come from nature.
3. Introducing the forgotten superfood. After 3 decades in men's health, I've learned something simple. The most powerful solutions are rarely new. They're old, familiar, sometimes forgotten. One of those solutions is a food your grandfather probably ate without a second thought, and your body, whether you realize it or not, still remembers it. I'm talking about grass-fed beef liver. Now, I know for some men, just hearing the word liver brings back childhood memories best left in the past. The smell, the texture, the hesitation at the dinner table. I get it. But here's what I've seen, and what I want you to consider. When men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s add beef liver to their diets, even just once or twice a week, something shifts. They come back and say things like, "Doc, I feel more awake. My wife says I'm walking taller." Or simply, "I didn't expect this, but something came back." Because beef liver isn't just protein. It's concentrated male nutrition. It's rich in iron to fuel red blood cells, B12 and folate to support brain and energy, zinc and vitamin A to help rebuild testosterone, and leucine and CoQ10, 2 key players in blood vessel repair and oxygen delivery to the lower body. This isn't theory. It's biology working the way it was meant to. And the best part? You don't need to eat it daily. Even a few servings a week or a high-quality liver capsule can make a difference. Because when you feed the system that supports blood flow, hormones, and strength, you're not just eating for nutrition. You're reawakening something that was never gone, only waiting.
4. What the science says about liver, blood flow, and intimacy. When I first recommended beef liver to my patients, I saw the same look every time. "Liver? Really, doc?" And I understood. It seemed outdated. But a few weeks later, those same men came back, clearer eyes, steadier voice, something alive in the way they spoke. "I feel more like myself again." And they weren't imagining it. Science backs them up. Beef liver isn't powerful because of one magic nutrient. It's powerful because of how many it contains and how well they work together. It's packed with vitamin B12, essential for red blood cells and oxygen delivery. Without oxygen, blood can't move, muscles don't fire, desire fades. It provides heme iron, the most absorbable form, to keep energy steady and tissues nourished. Zinc helps build testosterone. Vitamin A supports hormone balance and immune strength. And leucine, a key amino acid, helps repair muscle and vascular lining, the very tissue that controls blood flow. But perhaps the most overlooked? CoQ10, a compound that powers your cell's energy factories, the mitochondria, especially in the heart, the vessels, and yes, the systems responsible for intimacy. Higher CoQ10 means better circulation, better energy, better recovery, not just physically, but emotionally. Studies from journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirm it. Men who consume nutrient-dense foods like beef liver show improved vascular function, hormone levels, and overall energy even into their late 70s and beyond. So no, this isn't just some old-school remedy. It's real, measurable, and time-tested, and your body still knows what to do with it.
5. What to expect when you start eating this food. One of my favorite moments in the clinic is quiet but unmistakable. A man in his 60s or 70s sits down, smiles just slightly, and says, "Doc, I think something's happening." Not a miracle, not overnight, but something real. Usually it starts within 2 to 3 weeks. They wake up with a little more clarity. The afternoon crash, less sharp. Their legs feel lighter, their mind more focused. But what they don't always expect is what returns beneath the surface. Blood flow improves, not just to the heart, but to the core of how a man feels himself. Desire returns, not forced, not artificial, but natural, quiet, earned. Some tell me they've started flirting with their wives again, not because they think they should, but because they want to. Others say they finally feel comfortable initiating intimacy, not from pressure, but from confidence. That's what happens when you nourish the system instead of masking the symptoms. The change begins in the blood, but it ends in the mind, in the home, in the quiet reassurance. I'm still here. I'm still me. And you don't get there by chasing fads or swallowing a drawer full of pills. You get there by giving your body what it remembers, food that rebuilds from the inside out. Of course, no food works in isolation. You still need movement, rest, intention. But beef liver, even once or twice a week, can be the signal your body's been waiting for. One man told me, "Doc, I feel grounded again. I didn't know how much I missed that feeling."
6. But there's one catch. By now, you might be thinking, if beef liver is so powerful, why isn't every man over 60 eating it? That's a fair question, and the honest answer is this. Most men either don't know or they give up too soon. Maybe it's the taste. Maybe it's habit. Maybe it's the voice in the back of their mind whispering, "This won't work for me." But here's what I want you to hear, clearly and without pressure. None of this works without consistency. You can't take one bite of liver or one capsule and expect years of fatigue, poor circulation, or hormonal imbalance to vanish overnight. The body doesn't heal through quick fixes. It heals through patterns, through small, steady signals that say, "We're rebuilding." And the good news? I've seen it happen again and again. Men who didn't do everything perfectly, but they showed up, they stayed with it, and their bodies responded, slowly at first, then all at once. After 30 days, they'd sit across from me looking 10 years younger, not from anything flashy, but because their systems were finally being fed, not just stimulated. Better sleep, brighter mornings, stronger connection with themselves and with the people they love. So yes, beef liver or a high-quality supplement once or twice a week really can shift the tide, but only if you give your body the time and the trust to do what it was always designed to do.
7. Conclusion. It's never too late to reclaim strength, energy, and intimacy. After 30 years of walking beside men in their 50s, 60s, even 80s, I can say this with complete certainty. Your age is not the problem. It never was. The real challenge is the belief, quietly planted, that decline is inevitable, that energy fades, that desire disappears, that connection weakens. But once you understand what's really happening inside your body, the slowed circulation, the missing nutrients,
the forgotten signals, you gain something powerful: choice. You've seen how poor blood flow often sits at the root of fading intimacy. You've learned why pills offer short-term stimulation, but not long-term healing. And you've discovered that beef liver, a humble, time-tested food, holds the ability to support blood flow, fuel hormone production, and restore energy at the source. But more than that, you now know this journey back to strength is possible. Not with extremes, not with fads, but with real food, real habits, and real patience. I've watched men return to themselves, not someone new, but someone they thought they had lost. They speak differently, stand taller, connect more deeply. And if they can, so can you. So don't wait, don't settle. Begin. Not next year, not after the next appointment. Tomorrow morning, with one small step, a meal, a mindset, a message to your body that says, "We're not finished. We're ready to rise."